Hey there, guys. So we are going to look at day 4 stuff today. All right. So these videos are going to be shorter than day 3, and only because day 3 had to be a little bit more in depth and in detail as far as the steps of how to utilize the calculator in sync with understanding the content. Okay. So probably definitely expect something like this, to where when a big concept and a newer topic is being introduced, we're going to be a little bit more elaborate as far as the beginning activities and assignments with those concepts. And then as we go deeper and deeper for more practice and other variations and other pieces of those um, content or topic materials, then we're going to kind of condense that and be a little bit more brief as far as the videos are concerned. Okay. So if you're just now joining us, welcome. We are now on e-learning on the on online platform as far as giving out all of these assignments and notes and whatnot. So we're going to go to day 4. Okay. So if you're just now joining us, I want to make sure that you have the breakdown. Okay. So video day 4 is what I'm recording right now. And you see it down here. It's coming soon. So as soon as I finish recording the videos, which we will make live probably about 6 p.m. ish, maybe between 6 and 9 p.m. on Sunday nights, so that you have it for the following week. Okay. So, and you can see here week 323 to 329 right here, that's in green. The day 3 and day 4 are going to be your topics, videos, assignments, and everything of this week. Okay. So video day 4A will include these 2 topics, and then video day 4B will include the rest. Okay. We'll most likely at least have 2 videos, maybe sometimes 3, as far as each day is concerned. But make sure that you know that you are able to ask questions during live tutorial sessions and or also during or on the Padlet that we have available for you. Okay. And details about that, if you want to scroll up and look at the welcome back video, that gives you a good summarization of what features we're going to be utilizing during e-learning and how to find anything and everything that you might need. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with SAT 7.2. Notice that it is hyperlinked to where here's a blank copy, and then here's the key. I already have those specific ones already opened. And then, and it is optional as far as SAT, and I will remind you again, that is for your benefit. SAT and ACT tests in the future, you definitely want to give this as much attention as you feel you need to ensure that you understand those topics and concepts. Okay, and then we'll look at this hyperlink right here, this Google Doc, that's going to be looking at interesting facts about E. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead and begin. So the warm-ups, if you look at the calendar, it does say 7.2, and that means it is Unit 7, of course, which is what you see here. And that point 2 refers to day 2. Okay, so I'm going to go down to day 2, and that's what the point 2 means. So you'll have these 3 questions, and then linked right next to it in this key right here. Okay, when you click on it, you could go to day 2, and there it is. There are the answers for those pertaining questions for that day. Okay, so just keep in mind that's what that point 2 is concerned with. These are optional, and they're going to be handwritten or typed, but these will not be recorded. Okay, unless absolutely you need it, and there's a question that a lot of people are struggling with that they're not getting answered in live tutorials or on Padlet, then I may record those. But the recording or the video recordings are primarily focused just on the content. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. Let me close those out, and we're going to move over to interesting facts about E. Okay, here at the bottom, you can click on this link, and it will take you to even more interesting facts about E and how it correlates to like future concepts that are in dealing with like calculus topics and so on and so forth. Okay, so there's a little bit more extension for those of you who you have the time, you are interested in knowing, and you're just wondering what this E. So it's a lot deeper as far as an understanding of these topics. Okay, so here we go. Let's go ahead and go to this Google E right here. We're going to talk about these concepts. So let me scroll over to my iPad. Here's my calculator, and here's my iPad, where I'm going to focus on these kind of a little bit A little slower and individually so that you understand how it correlates with what we're talking about during this unit. Okay, so here we go. First of all, mathematician Leonhard Euler first used E in 1736, so almost 300 years ago, okay, to mean that number whose hyperbolic logarithm is equal to 1. Now, we don't expect you to understand what all that means, okay, so that's like in college or calculus, that is. But that's just a little brief history about E. It's also known as Euler's number, again, because his first letter is E. That's why the symbol E, the constant E, is written like that, kind of similar to pi. Okay, so in 1737, Euler first used the symbol for pi to be the ratio of the circumference to the diameter in a circle. So the pi symbol, we know that the circumference is 2 pi r, which is the same as 2 radii multiplied together will be a diameter. And thus, if we divided both sides by the diameter, the circumference divided by the diameter, this is what pi is. So this is called the ratio of the circumference to the diameter in a circle, okay? And Euler was the first one to use the symbol for pi in that respect. So in 1777, Euler first used I, and we know I to be like the square root of -1, and I squared is like -1, and so on and so forth. We've learned these, okay? So I cubed is negative square root of -1, and I to the fourth is just 2I squareds multiplied together to get a positive one. And it just repeats over and over, and then goes through, and then it just repeats over and over, okay? And we've already learned that through prior lessons. And then Euler was the first to write 5 most significant numbers in all of mathematics in one equation. Now I'm talking about 1, which is E, 2, which is pi, 3, which is I, the square root of -1, 4, which is 1, and finally 5, which is 0. Okay, so 5 most significant numbers in all of mathematics. Euler was the first to write one equation that kind of encapsulated everything. And yes, e to the pi times I plus 1 is equal to 0. Now that you will learn whenever you're in calculus, but Euler was responsible for this. Okay, so E is defined as the limit. So as the limit as n approaches infinity of this equation right here. And I know it's a little bit weird the way it looks like. You're going to see it in this unit, something that looks like that. So the limit of 1 plus 1 over n to the power of n, okay? This limit is equal to E, okay? And then E is a constant. It's like 2.71828, and then 459045, and then it keeps going. It's not even repetitive. It's got a lot of different numbers that it looks like it has a pattern just for a little bit. This 1828, it looks like a pattern, and then 459045, but 90 is not the next one, okay? So it's just an irrational number that's very similar to pi, and it's just a bunch of decimals that don't repeat, and it is irrational, okay? E can also be defined as the limit, okay? So as the limit as n approaches 0 of 1 plus n to the power of 1 over n. This also is another way that we can look at 0, okay? Or the limit as it's equaling E as it approaches 0 in this respect. And then number 9, E is the base of the exponential function. Okay, y is equal to a to the x. So let me erase that. Such that the slope of the tangent to the curve at the point 0, 1 is 1. Okay, so whatever this a to the x is, whatever the graph is, and it most likely would look something like that, is that we're saying that the slope at 0, 1 is 1. The steepness of this is 1. Okay, now again, most of this is calculus. Okay, so we're gonna look at U or Euler's E in a much lesser of a level as far as algebra 2 is concerned, but nonetheless, we still wanted to give you like a little brief history of how E correlates with everything else that you will see in future math all the way to calculus. As you can see here, there's a series, and the series is 1 plus 1 over 1 factorial, plus 1 over 2 factorial, plus 1 over 3 factorial, and so on and so forth. And again, we don't expect you to know. We're just trying to extend it and have you be aware of how powerful this number actually is. Okay, so in your case, I would say this one is what we're going to be using mostly. We will look at a form that looks similar to this, which is number 6. Let's see what else. We have discussed this in prior units when I is equal to the square root of -1. We know this over here from geometry. And I believe that's it. That's pretty much all that we are going to be responsible for knowing as far as up to Algebra 2 standards.